is going on? I hope y'all like that intro. Shout out to my wife for hooking me up with the fucking heat. Now, we're going to get into a taper here and design. Right now, I'm checking how long the top is. I guess he knocked it down a couple weeks ago. Normally, we do a number 3, and that's what we did again. So I'm going to take my 3 guard, knock it down, and I was taking that guard and running it through the hair, and if the hair went past the inside of the guard, then I know that it was a 3. So that's a nice way of figuring out how long the hair is. So we're gonna establish the length all around. Obviously, a 3 being the darkest part. So we're gonna knock the top down to the 3. Now we are taking our 2 guard, and we got it open up, and we're going right into the top of the hair to blend into the 3 guard. Alright, so a 2 guard opened all the way up will blend into a number 3. So you can see here we are just knocking it down, getting it all evened out, cleaning up the canvas, instead of having to fade into bulk and making our job harder. We are going to establish the length that we want to fade into. Okay, so boom. So now we are going to start with establishing our first guideline here with the taper. We're going to then knock off the bottom with our trimmers, blending into that 0. Okay. And sometimes I'll line up around the ear before starting the taper. In this case, I did not. In this case, I decided to line it up after. So you can see I take my comb and brush anything, all the hair to the edge, and anything that hangs over his natural hairline will get cut. That is why they call it an edge up. So we're going to hold the ear down. We're going to come around from the back to the front, and then we will come from the front to the back, connecting the dots, connecting the hair, connecting the lines. Okay, so we're going to start with our 1 guard, open it up. We're going to flick into that kind of bulk there. So I went around with the 2, obviously fading it into the top. But in this case, like, I just knew that I was going to clean all that up with the 1.5, which you will see me do here in a sec. So we have our 1 guard on. We opened it up. We're just cutting into that bulk there real quick. Closing the clipper halfway, attacking the line every time, and then we will close it all the way, lightening up the line every time. So don't get confused with that bulk there. I'm going to knock that down with the 1.5 here in a second. So here we go. We got the 1.5. We're going to open it all the way up because that means that it's nice and close to the number 2. So the number 2 guard will get blended into right now with our 1.5 guard all the way open. Once I got it blended into that 2, we're going to close it up halfway and then hit that weight line that's right there. That was left from our 1 guard all the way open, which is a 1.5. By the time we close this clipper all the way, it'll be blending everything else into that 1.5 open. Again, my guy came straight from work. He was wearing a helmet there, so you can see that. I gave him a nice shampoo. So we're going to take our 1/16 guard. We're going to open it all the way up. We're going to hit that line, pulling away from or flicking out, or however you want to say it, blending into that 1 guard. Then I will close the clipper halfway and hit the line again. And then I will close it all the way and then hit the line again. And somebody brought it to my attention on my Instagram. When I say adjust the lever as needed, I guess my system is open the clipper, close it halfway, close it all the way, then adjust as needed to hit any blemish areas, or maybe some areas where you might need to get a little bit tighter or might have to back off a little bit. So because I knew I was going to be giving him a shampoo, what I really like to do when I know I'm giving somebody a shampoo is, you know, I like to give the shampoo at the end, because I just like to give it at the end because I feel like we'll get all those little hairs off and then really get to see a nice clean canvas. So again, I guess I'm doing like a rough draft before the finished product. So we go through the haircut, pretty much get it exactly where we want it, and work some blemishes and finessing. But I know that after washing off any hair that might be sticking, or any hair that might be matted to the head from the helmet or gel or hat, like I know that I might have to touch up the haircut after. So I do save some of the detailing and stuff for after the shampoo. If that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. We've been attacking this line with no guard. I hope y'all have been watching that. So if you weren't, we attacked the line open with the clipper open first, closed it halfway, and then adjust the clipper as needed to work this blend. So I see a little blemished area, so I'm going to throw that one guard back on, go back in, do some detail work. All right, so we know that we knocked the top down to the 3, then we went around, blended that 2 into the top. So right now I am taking my 1.5 guard and blending that right into the number 2 guard, okay? And I'm lightening this line, my guideline, up every time, okay? This is the way I like to fade. I like to put one line in the haircut and fade that line out, and then just make everything else come together. So obviously we started with the clipper open, closed it halfway, and then closed it all the way. So you just seen me take my one guard. Now we're gonna open that up all the way and blend into that 1.5 guard. So we opened it up all the way. We're gonna close it halfway, attack the line every time while working that fade or that blend. Then we will close the clipper and hit that line again. Lighten it up. After this one guard, we're going to throw our 116 guard on, doing the same thing that we did in the back, the same thing that we did on the sides. One 16 guard, boom, opened all the way up. I'm going to hit that line. Flicking out, pulling away, blending into the one guard. Closing the clipper halfway, attacking that line. There we go. One more time, we'll close it all the way up. We'll hit that line. Yeah, I really wanted to get more in depth of my fading process here. So you can see the taper and the fade coming together. I know barbers like to use multiple guidelines. I was one of those barbers at one point. All right, so now I see there's a little bit of weight there. We're gonna throw the one guard on, open it up, and just kind of work the clipper in the blemished or extra weighted area. So I'll use some of my corners. Again, I'm just doing whatever's gonna get this haircut blended. So the clipper open, working the clipper corners into some of those areas. Again, I know I'm going to give him shampoo. So, some of that could be because the hair is oily or, just not cooperating or helmet head. So, boom. We're going to establish the taper here, starting hitting that line with the clipper all the way open, closing it either a notch or almost halfway. Lots of corner work when we get to this last part, detailing, breaking up that line. Don't be afraid to stretch the skin and get in there. Stretching the skin gives you a little bit more room to work, opens up your canvas. Using a lot of the corners, just chipping into any line that's left. Really trying to make this as blurry as possible. So now I'm going to work this fade into the beard real quick. Starting with the clipper closed, opening it up, opening it up, opening it up. Almost to the bottom of his ear with the clipper all the way open, but not totally. I believe that's a one guard, through the one guard on, working that blend. Now we're going back up into that taper. Obviously, I seen something I didn't like. So I said, you know what, we're gonna give this taper some more love. And it's okay, you can always go back. Sometimes you gotta leave well enough alone, go to the other side, move on to something else, and come back to the taper up. Because you get stuck in one spot, then you change the taper way too much. You go to the other side, and you got two different tapers. All right, so we're gonna ball this out, pushing firm and lightening up as we move up the head, trying not to create any other lines. So we're going to clean up the back here, ball out the bottom. And then I like to get around, that lineup. And guys, so what I did here is we're going to make this a part 2. We're going to go into the design, so make sure you stay tuned for this design. Hope y'all took something from this tapered haircut. Drop it in the comments, man. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know if there's anything that I can help with moving forward. Thank you.